Hi, I'm Nemone. I'm the manager at CoreLandscapes Community Roof Garden here in Homerton, Hackney. CoreLandscapes is what's known as the Meanwhile project, so we're completely container grown and we have the ability to move from site to site. We began in 2009 in Canning Town and have moved 4 times across 3 East London boroughs since then. That's Newham, Tower Hamlets and Hackney. CoreLandscapes is part of CoreArts, a well-established and award-winning mental health charity that has been around for 27 years. CoreArts works across all areas of the arts, sports and horticulture to promote positive mental health, working with people who are experiencing mental health issues. CoreLandscapes uses horticulture and connecting people to the natural environment to aid well-being, promote recovery and help with people's personal development. We work with people who've been referred to us through health and social care professionals and also community volunteers, support volunteers, corporate volunteers, the wider local community and general public, and we also help support other community green projects with advice, support and training. We all work together here to help create, develop and look after various gardens, and at the moment we're on this roof garden, part of CoreArts, right next to CoreArts, and we moved here last summer and over 200 people helped create this roof garden. CoreLandscapes students and volunteers also help look after the CoreArts members garden on the street just around the corner, a completely contrasting environment for plants and wildlife. As all gardeners know, gardening is a great way to relax, unwind and calm down. So for anybody experiencing mental distress, the impact of this can be really significant for people. And also by learning the lifelong skills of gardening, people have the tools to help self-manage their mental health, wherever they may be, whether they're still connected to this project or whether they're gardening at home, on a balcony, just using indoor plants, whatever it might be. By teaching people the skills, then they've then got that for the rest of their lives and can benefit from it always. People who come to the project may not know about one area of horticulture, but they may have a lot of knowledge and experience in another area. So everyone else's experiences feed into the project, and there's a lot of peer-to-peer support as well. This really enriches the project because it keeps it very fluid and we can adapt to who we're working with, what people want to learn about, all different areas, and it keeps it really interesting and stimulating for everybody. Throughout the year, whatever the weather, we run horticultural workshops and volunteer sessions. We cover all aspects of horticulture, like food growing, all about herbs, soil management, plant identification, plant maintenance, loads of different organic gardening techniques. Pretty much anything that anybody really wants to learn about, we try and accommodate that. The opportunities for learning here really enable people to personally develop, and they also offer little windows into vocational training and different pathways into horticulture and potential future job prospects. And people can use their volunteering experience here to gain really good references to move into employment in the future. Across London there are empty pieces of land that are locked up just waiting for building work to begin, and this can often take years at a time. So Meanwhile projects like CoreLandscapes are able to transform these locked up sites and make them into thriving green resources for local communities. The sites in Canning Town were large and offered up great opportunities for people to grow their own food and learn new gardening skills. The Whitechapel site was right next door to the Royal London Hospital, and that proved a fantastic green respite for hospital patients and visitors and staff, as well as local residents and all our students and volunteers. We also propagated lots of plants to sell in our community plant nursery. This impact on people's lives can prove the value of community gardening and green spaces to planners and local authorities that can influence future urban planning decisions. We're really experienced not only in container growing, but also adapting to whatever environment we find ourselves in. So when we're teaching people about plants and nature and the natural world and sustainable growing practices, we have a wide range of situations and aspects and conditions for people to really experience all ways of growing. We can showcase what everyone can grow with a very small space. Even if you haven't got a garden and you've just got a balcony or a windowsill or the little bit in by your front door, there's a plant for every space, and you only need a little bit of know-how to understand what it needs to thrive, and you've got yourself a little garden. CoreLandscapes upcycles, recycles, makes its own compost, uses solar power, collects water for water harvesting, and we've always done that, partly to keep the project costs down, but more importantly to keep our carbon footprint as low as absolutely possible, aiming for a zero carbon footprint. Core Arts is a really inspirational charity full of hugely talented and skilled artists and musicians and dancers and songwriters and gardeners and sports people, all working together to benefit everybody's mental health and create an environment that is also hugely inspirational for other organisations and projects to look to see a different way of working with people who are experiencing severe and enduring mental health issues. It really does stamp on so much of the stigma around mental ill health and what people perceive other people experiencing mental health conditions are like. Leaving the diagnoses at the door and just treating people like people with everyone has respect for each other, everybody values everyone else's input to create a fantastic learning environment where education and creative development is at the forefront. During this period of lockdown, we continue to support our students and volunteers with online learning resources, WhatsApp groups and phone calls to keep us all connected and learning in positive and creative ways. So if you'd like to support the work CoreLandscapes does with inclusive green education, personal development and recovery from mental ill health, please go to the Just Giving link on the Core Arts website. And thanks very, very much for your interest and support.